We are at City Park, what used to be called Forest Road. Now it's called Wangari Maathai Road. Where we are, this is a gravesite or a graveyard where Europeans who used to live here during colonial days used to be buried. So where we are standing, where you guys are stepping on, you're stepping on graves. This used to be a chapel. When people used to come here to bury their loved ones, they used to congregate here for a simple service, then they proceed to the burial site. As you can see, there are a lot of bushes around here. There are also people who are living here, homeless people. After Uhuru Park was closed for renovation, most people who used to live at Uhuru Park moved to City Park. And as you can see, also that a habitat for someone who lives around here. But we also thank guys of Kenya Forest Service. Since they took charge of this place, they have tried as much as possible to remove people who live here. But it is not easy because they do not have enough manpower and resources to do the same. Yeah.
This chapel, it looks small, or what in terms of the number that it could accommodate?
I think the number was just the immediate family. And you see, for Europeans, they are not like us Africans. When they go for burials, they don't go in numbers, in their hundreds. Maybe their funerals are quite private, unlike us. So this is not supposed to be a path or a pedestrian path. As you can see, these are some of the graves that have been degraded. And some of these graves are as old as 1940. Because we have people who have been buried here from the 40s. So, like this one, actually, this one died in 1920. So you can see people are buried here from that time, long time ago. So, but over the years, the place has been degraded.
Now, this numbering?
Yes. Actually, when you have your grave site here, you had to be given a number. So that it is easy to tell who was buried where, and the particulars are also provided in the same. You are given a number, then your particulars. Yes. So we are also working to have all those registers with us. We want to digitize all that information of the people who are buried here, because this is a historical kind of a grave site.
This one, is this number 2 or number?
This is number 2, and as you can see there, that is number 15. But also it also depends with the make of the grave site. Also depends whether you are Catholic or whether you are a British soldier. So you'll see the difference, or whether you are just a European who used to live here and had no task in government. So you are civilian in one way or the other. You'll be able to tell the difference of the people who are buried here. Yeah.
So people are basically walking and...
People are basically walking on the graves of people. But as I have said, in 2020, and we on the behalf of people who have an interest with City Park, would wish to thank the immediate former president, Uhuru Kenyatta, because in 2020, through a presidential directive, he placed City Park Forest under Kenya Forest Service. And that was for a reason, because there were elements then within Nairobi City County government who had a desire to grab some parcels within City Park. So because Kenya Forest Service is a credible, in my view, is a credible government institution, it's not a political institution as such, it's predictable. There are routines, there are protocols and procedures as far as public spaces are concerned. So City Park is under Kenya Forest Service. And we are here courtesy of an arrangement that we have with Kenya Forest Service, because Forest Conservation and Management Act provides that forests have to be managed by government through Kenya Forest Service and Community Forest Association. People who live around or adjacent forest, they come together and come up with a vehicle. So we have a vehicle called City Park Community Forest Association that now we are managing and conserving City Park with Kenya Forest Service. Okay, as you have seen, even in death, or in burial sites, there is a divide. You have seen some are quite degraded, but this particular gravesite or graveyard, these are well taken care of. As you can see, these were the elites who served in the army back then, during the colonial time in Kenya. And the graves are well taken care of by the Commonwealth. They're the ones who are in charge of this space.
And they appear to be, even now, they continue taking...
Yes, yes, yes. To this day, they have someone who look after them and make sure the place is well cleaned up. That's why you...
There's a private, that one is a sergeant.
Yes.
What was a lance corporal?
Yes. This was...
It doesn't indicate the rank.
Yes.
No? No rank. But this was a Ghana.
Yeah.
This was also a Ghana.
Yeah.
He is a sergeant.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you see also there is also uniformity. The design is the same. Yeah.
What are the plans for the county assembly?
Mm-hmm.
I'm told the Department of Environment is based here.
Yes. We have county offices here, sub-county offices here, and we also have offices for environmental officers from the county. But as I had mentioned earlier, City Park is now under Kenya Forest Service.
Okay.
So from 2020 June, 5th of June 2020, this place was placed under Kenya Forest.
They seem to have died the same day.
Yes.
This was died on the same day.
That tells you this must have been an air crash, is it? Yes. Let's have a look at this other one. 20. This is also quite unique. Actually, all these guys died the same day. Yes, 29th June. All of them.
Tell us about this particular part of the park.
These particular establishments that are along Professor Wangari Maathai Road are some of what you'll call, in quotes, legal encroachments. This was also part of City Park that was annexed in the 90s to give way to the institutions that you see around that area. That's why you see there are a lot of big trees, indigenous trees that are from the 40s, the 20s and 60s. So those institutions that you see along that road, that parcel of land used to belong to City Park back in the day. Okay. So this is a legacy of, would you call it, regular annexing of the park, because the park used to be almost 120 hectares thereabout. But over the years, we just have like 60 or so hectares remaining. The park has also been another threat of people wanting to grab parcels of it to turn it into a concrete jungle, because there are people in this city who love seeing concrete jungle, and there is no life there. Life is in the forest. Life is where you see trees, and it's also high time even us at the level of leadership on Nairobi City County government, guys who are into the forestry sector, enlighten people and make people aware that trees are important. For this city to breathe, you need trees. And also for this city, for people to be in a better mental frame, you need to visit green spaces. But most of these green spaces are not as many as we would want them to be in Nairobi.
But so, if as a sitting member of the county assembly, are you able to verify their location in as much as it happened many years back?
Yes. Actually, through Friends of City Park. Friends of City Park was an organization that was formed back in the 90s, and they have been fighting for preservation and conservation of City Park. They have done a good job, because they have also launched complaints with National Land Commission, and some of parcels of lands that were annexed from City Park and have not been occupied, those titles have been revoked.
Towards Pangani, we can see some bananas, those sugarcane with Napier.
Actually, that is Napier. That is the private land. Yes. We cannot tell whether it was part of City Park, but in the records, that's private. Yes.
Okay, so
Yeah.
what goes on over there?
Livestock. There's someone who has a lot of livestock there. Yes, goats and such like. Yeah. Yeah. This is a central park within City Park for recreational activities, and here people are safe. You cannot just walk anyhowly within or around City Park because it is not that safe. But here you are safe. If you come here on weekends, Saturday, Sunday, you have families coming here for recreational purposes. And as you can see, this is white jacaranda. And white jacaranda is a rare one. You not just find it in the city. I think it's reported that the city has around 6. So if you visit here in the months of October and November, that's when it blooms. And also through the support of Chandaria Foundation, we have been able to raise 6 of them. It's an experiment that is ongoing, and you'll be in a position to see them as we are going up.
If there are only 6 around Nairobi, or is it within this park?
No, it's reported there are just 6.
Within this park?
This is the 6th one, so there are other 5 elsewhere within Nairobi. It has been reported. I have not seen other 5s, but at least I have seen this one. Yes.
But now, how you are doing an experiment, how are you trying to achieve that?
Raising them from the nursery is quite difficult. And that's why I've said what we have done an experiment. We have 6 of them, and the ones that we are raising here are almost 6. They were planted last year. You're going to see how far they have grown. That's why I'm saying it is an experiment.
Are they emanating from seeds?
Yes, they are emanating from seeds. Now raising those seeds from the nursery, it's quite a task.
Said that this is part of the experiment.
Yes.
You are doing in conjunction with the Chandaria Foundation.
Yes.
How old is this, and when was it actually, when did the experiment take place for this?
This was planted in 2023. And the reason why it has been shielded like this is for protection, so that people don't step on it. Yes.
Ordinarily, how long do they take to mature?
Jacaranda tree would take years to mature. Like this one, you even give it like 50 or so years to be where it is today. Okay. Yeah.
So you have to be patient.
You have to be patient. That's why they say you plant trees not for yourself, but for the next generation. You might not live long enough to yes. These are waters from City Park Estate. So they drain down to Kibagare River. Okay. So this is wastewater.
I see.
Yeah. So, but the beauty is that by the time this water is getting to the river, it has been filtered. It's a bit clean, eh? Yes, but of course you can't drink.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
It appears now we have 2 sets of graveyards. This side, allow me to call this on the west, and the east. What are the clear distinctions between these 2 sides?
Actually, you can even call them 4. Because on Wangari Maathai, Professor Wangari Maathai Road, we have the Hebrew, where the Jews used to be buried. And that one is well now taken care of by Nairobi Hebrew congregation. They have gotten a special user license from Kenya Forest Service. On that other side where you see most of the graves are degraded, no one is taking care of those graves. By saying no one, as much as we have young people through Climate Works program going and slashing bushes around them, there's nothing much that is happening. There are no families that are taking charge of those graves. But as you can see on this other end, at least here here it's a bit conducive.
By here we are talking of where?
We are now along Rimuru Road, just next to City Park Estate. Here, these graves are also from soldiers who are fighting the Mau Mau and who died here. As you can see, this most likely was an air crash, because as you can see, these guys are from the Loyal Air Force, and they died on 21st June 1954.
The same day.
The same day. So is those other ones, that is also most likely an air crash. And as you had said, there is distinction. You have the Hebrews on that other side, you have every other European on that other side. On these sides you have now the soldiers who used to fight here, and also you have the Goans. Goans have a special place at City Park, and after here we also going to visit where the Goans were used to be buried back in the day. Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you were to tell us this is the City Park, we also have some high-rise buildings on the other side.
Yeah. Yes. City Park has suffered encroachment over the years, and City Park Estate, the current City Park Estate, used to be part and parcel of City Park Forest Reserve. But back in the 90s, through Nairobi City Council and then Nairobi Commission, they're the ones who annexed most part of City Park, and most of the property here was given to former councillors. They are the ones now over the years have sold them to third and fourth parties. So it's good for guys who live in City Park Estates know that that used to be our forest. Yes.
But as you've said, those who occupied City Hall,
yes,
former councillors, yes, are responsible as they acquired and so transferred.
It's their legacy. It's their legacy. Yeah, yeah. You remember them for that. Yes.
Approximately how many units exist in that particular? Do we have records on how many units have been put up?
City Park Estate sits on almost 20 or so acres. Yes. So what you have now are high rises. People are putting up high rises. So it is densely populated. You have apartments of all design coming up. Yeah. So City Park hosts the grave of Pio Gama Pinto. Pio Gama Pinto was a journalist, and he was also a freedom fighter, a member of parliament back then, and he was actually the very first political assassin in 1965, and he is one of the prominent Goans that fought for Kenyan independence. You get to understand that most of the people who went into the civil service back then, education, be it medical field, most of them were the Goans. And you can also see just right ahead of Pio Gama Pinto's grave site, there is also Dr. Ribeiro. Dr. Ribeiro was renowned as a medical practitioner, and Parklands High School has also been renamed. It's also named after him. So most prominent Goans are buried here. And Pinto chose to be buried in a public cemetery because of his ideals. He was a socialist, even in death, and he also mentored Joseph Murumbi. So these are quite significant graves here because they host the history of Kenya. Successive governments have done so much to forget the good jobs that were done by these two great gentlemen who were so much against capitalism, and them they embraced socialism. And some of the prominent people who came here to bury him was Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, who was also a socialist, and also the late Murumbi. Yes. The Goans, India, they come from a place called Goa, and most of them are Catholics. Most of the Catholic churches in Kenya were built by the Goans. We have St. Francis Xavier just down here on First Parklands. That is an example of a church that was built by the Goans. You also have the Goan Institute along Juja Road. That is also one of their landmark spaces in Nairobi. So they have been very significant in many industries in Kenya. People like Ian Fernandez, formerly of MediaMax. Those are some of the Goans that we have here. D'Souza, who was a member of parliament for Westlands. Joseph Murumbi, who was also a Goan. Yeah. So over the years, they have been able to integrate with the rest of Kenyans. They have intermarried with Kenyans, but they are strictly Catholics. Yeah. The march that successive Kenyan government have done to honor Pio Gamapinto is actually to rename a road in Westlands. There is a road that is called Pio Gamapinto. Yes, around Sankara.
That is the only memorial.
Yes, yeah.
That's the only remembering that we have of it.
Yes.
I see.
Yeah. Joseph Murumbi was a freedom fighter. Joseph Murumbi was a Pan-Africanist. And Joseph Murumbi was the first cabinet minister for foreign affairs. He was instrumental in opening up embassies and consulates and high commissions for Kenya back in the day. And he also served as member of parliament for Nairobi South back then. Nairobi South used to cover part of Starehe, Lang'ata, and Makadara. And he also served under Jomo Kenyatta as the second vice president of Kenya. And he served for a period of 9 months. And he resigned. He's the one who resigned from that post. Part of the reason why Murumbi was buried here, it is reported that it was his personal wish to be buried next to his friend and someone who mentored him, that is Pio Gamapinto. By the time he was dying in 1990, there was no space for more graves. So, but a place was found for him. This place is not far away from where Pinto was buried. These were great friends, and both of them were also socialists. That's part of the reason why he was buried here. For a long time, this was an unmarked grave. It is until proactive Kenyans came out and did a lot of activism and founded what is now called Murumbi Peace Memorial through the efforts of the late Alan Donavad. So this place was secured, and as you can see, it's quite conducive. This is not, you wouldn't say it's the best place ever, knowing that this was a vice president. Actually, the second vice president, the second vice president of Kenya. And you can see even in death, he is quite simple. And also next to his gravesite is Sheila Murumbi. Sheila Murumbi was Murumbi's wife, who died in 2000. And she was also instrumental because when Murumbi left active politics, because when he resigned in 1966, he said bye-bye to public life, and he became a great collector of African artifacts across the world. And you can see most of his work at Nairobi Gallery, at Nyayo House, and also at the National Archives. Yeah. So I speak to you today as the chairperson, the pioneering chairperson of City Park Community Forest Association. And City Park Community Forest Association is now jointly managing City Park with Kenya Forest Service. So City Park is managed pursuant to Forest Conservation and Management Act. And over the years, for the last one year, we have been able to come up with a participatory forest management plan. We have a 5-year plan, and in that plan, we have laid out activities that must be undertaken to revive and preserve City Park. And one of our major and long-term goal is to first fence City Park. That will give people who come to walk here or even come here for recreational purposes security, because as you have seen, there are areas within City Park where you cannot move. It's not that secure. Secondly is that the park is under pressure.
Prince Aga Khan, I can attest to the fact that he was a great philanthropist. One of the last projects he was keen on supporting was to be part of the consortium of rehabilitating and improving City Park. And this was a request that came through. It even went to the city, the county government. And I hope, even as a sign of legacy, this is some of the things that we can pick up as a country, partnering between the county government and the Aga Khan Foundation to rehabilitate and make City Park even more user-friendly. You have seen what has happened in Karura. You have seen the modernization of Uhuru Park and Central Park. And Aga Khan came very early, saying that he wants to partner so that he can also rehabilitate City Park. And I hope, maybe as a legacy, the county government can take up this and partner going forward.
There was an initiative by the Aga Khan community to help us revive, conserve and preserve City Park. And that is when there was the Grand Coalition. Musalia Mudavadi was the cabinet secretary then, and Professor Karega Mutahi was the PS. But as a community, we felt alienated then because the approach was not people-centric. And that was the part of the reason why that plant didn't materialize. But now, with the coming in of Kenya Forest Service, with the coming in of the Community Forest Association, we are looking out to partners who can help us conserve, manage and preserve City Park for the present generation and the future generations to come.
As the chairman, in terms of rehabilitation, is there a figure that you can assign that maybe if this amount of money is given, then things will work?
We are looking into fencing almost 6 kilometers along City Park. This is Rimuru Road and Professor Wangari Maathai Road. And we have come up with BQs, and we are looking into almost 78 or so millions to be able to cover the cost to rehabilitate City Park. Yes,
fencing plus other.
Yeah, that is now fencing, plus now you have to make the trails, you have to clean up the Kibagare River, you have to do mega cleanup, and you have also to do repairs, and you have also to replant trees. So with a budget of 78 million or thereabout, we'll be able to preserve City Park. So, but we're also inviting people who maybe would even want to adopt a kilometer or 2 of the fencing, or someone who would want to make 1 or 2 trails within City Park. Yeah. Because you have also mentioned Karura, it's also important to mention that before 2009, Karura was not safe. It was a haven, for hijackers along Kiambu Road. Dead bodies used to be dumped at Karura. But when Karura was fenced, security around Kiambu Road, Rimuru Road and Muthaiga improved to a great deal. And today, almost 75,000 Kenyans visit Karura every month because it's safe and it's secure. So it's the same goal that we also want to bring here as a way of even decongesting Karura and giving people of Nairobi and Kenyans another place they can call a green space where they can go walk and do recreational activities. You have seen there is a major road that passes from Rimuru Road to Thika Road. You come here around morning or in the evening, over 4,000 people use this road to connect. People come in all the way from Babandogo, Kariobangi, Githurai, who are going to Westlands and Parklands, passes through here. So when we are fencing, we have also considered that. We have also to take care of them because it's a major link road.